24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Africa nakupenda sana. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, every Tuesday evening, 18 hours South African time. Wow, this is the most important time, the most exciting time for me, because we are here at the African Experience. This is the show that is all about profiling Africa in a positive way. It is a show about celebrating Africa, celebrating the Africans, celebrating the African heritage, and celebrating the African excellence. I love this platform and I love this show because we get to know a lot of people, but also we get inspired. Even myself, I get inspired. My name is Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. The host or the co-host of this show. And normally I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host, Aventina Mabunda. But tonight, as always, she's going out there to look for information so that, we don't disappoint on this show. I love this show, ladies and gentlemen, because it gives us an opportunity to see Africa in a different light. Hence, we call it the African Experience. Tonight, we are going to the warm heart of Africa. I'm sure my listeners are looking, what is the warm heart of Africa? If I were to get the people to guess, which country would you guess that should be the warm heart of Africa? I know some of you don't know, but we're going to hear a lot about that. We have a beautiful, beautiful guest tonight, somebody who's so knowledgeable, somebody who is well-traveled, somebody who is bringing a different angle into the agricultural sector. His name is none other than Blessings Flao. Blessings, welcome to the African Experience and good evening.
Good evening, Hlami. It's so good to be here sharing my African experience with you.
Absolutely. I know people don't know where the warm heart of Africa is. Maybe you're going to tell us where the warm heart of Africa is. And I love it, with these, virtual platforms. I'm sitting here in Cape Town and we are sitting there in the warm heart of Africa and we are able to communicate. Maybe before you tell us who Blessings Flao is, tell us where the warm heart of Africa is. Where are you joining us from?
All right, great. So good evening to all of the listeners that are joining us today. I am joining you from Lilongwe, Malawi, and it is Malawi that's fondly referred to as the warm heart of Africa. We have Mozambique as one of our neighbors on the sides and a few other countries surrounding us. Such a beautiful place, and it derives its name from the warmth of its people. So when you come out here, what you will go away feeling and having experienced about who we are as a people, a big part of it will be our warmness, our warmth. So that's where that beautiful name comes from. Malawi, the warm heart of Africa.
Absolutely. I can actually attest to that. I have been to Malawi many times, and every time I'm there, wow, the warmth of the people. And one thing that stands out for me, I know every country has got its nickname. South Africa is called the Rainbow Nation, and we have other nicknames as well. But one thing that stands out for me when I'm in Malawi, every single person, when they greet you, they will say, welcome to the warm heart of Africa. So it's like that warm heart of Africa has been mainstreamed and institutionalized, that because everybody without fail, whether you go to the hotel, whether you go for a conference, wherever you go, they will tell you, welcome to the warm heart of Africa. And I think that is something that stands out for me. How is it so? Why everybody feel we are the warm heart of Africa? Do you know?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is that when you go to many countries, if you're visiting especially, it may be obvious that you are visiting. It may be obvious that you don't belong there. Whereas with Malawi, once people know, for example, that you are visiting, they'll be so warm towards you. They'll be so welcoming. They want you to feel that this is home for you. This is a place where you feel safe, and it's a place where you can make your second home if you desire to do that. So I think our welcoming spirit is really a big part of that name, the warm heart of Africa, and that's what you're speaking about, that you have experienced on your trips to this country.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we will talk a little bit more about Malawi and the warmness and the warm heart of Africa. But before we do that, we want to talk about you as a person. Who is Blessings Flao in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, you say. But I think that first and foremost, I am a child of God, because everything else that I am is really informed to a very great degree by that identity as a foundation of who I am. But Blessings is also a husband, a father. I'm a family man, really, a son to my siblings, a son to my parents, rather, and a brother to my siblings, and a friend to many people. So that's how, in a nutshell, I'd describe who I am.
Wow, that is really really beautiful. You know, we always say names say a lot. My name is Samalani, which means be surprised, and I believe that in whatever I do, I carry my name. Blessings. It's such a beautiful name. Blessings. Does it mean anything for you? Do you identify with the name, or it's just the name that your parents gave you, and it doesn't mean anything for you?
It's a name that my parents gave me, and I think growing up, it didn't really mean anything special. It was a name that I grew up being called, being surrounded by other blessings as well. It's quite a famous name in Malawi. Most times it's a girl name, but really it's a unisex name. That's why I have it. But as I've grown up and as I've experienced the world, I think I have come to the conclusion that our names are such a big part of who we are as individuals. One of the things that I think I have had said to me many times has been that you are such a blessing, that you embody your name. And I think it's from conversations like that that over time I have come to the conclusion that names aren't just. Names are so much more than just what we call a person by. They are a big part of their identity. They may be a big part of what or who this person is about in their daily life. So much so that when my daughter was born, I didn't take naming her lightly. I really
Okay.
wanted to get just what I felt was the right name for her.
And maybe if you don't mind sharing, do you mind to share what your daughter's name is?
I don't mind at all. So my daughter's name is Kuala. That's from one of the Malawian languages. It means light. And for me, that name just embodies that she is light to the world. She is the light of God wherever she goes. She is light to the people that surround her.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so getting to know the blessings that you are. I just want to touch a little bit, in your professional journey. What did you study, and what actually brought you to, the organization that you're working with, Access Agriculture? But we'll talk about Access Agriculture later on. What did you study, and what prompted you to have an interest in the agricultural space?
All right, great. So I studied for a Bachelor of Arts and Media for Development from one of the
Okay.
then constituent colleges of the University of Malawi. It's called Chancellor College. So I did this BA in Media for Development. I graduated in 2010. So it means I have been working now for about 14 years. But leading up to my studying for this Bachelor of Arts, I had really wanted to go and study journalism. So there was a course that was
Okay.
being offered at another constituent college of the University of Malawi. It's called the Polytechnic. And I wanted to go there and study a Bachelor of Arts in journalism. And my reasoning was really simple. I was very bad at science subjects in secondary school. And Malawi has this system where if you flunk courses a certain number of courses in a semester in university, you get withdrawn on academic grounds that you're not fit for the course that you are pursuing. Now, having been as poor as I had been in secondary school studying science subjects, I knew that I needed to go to the route, of the arts, something that I naturally enjoyed, because growing up, I was naturally a reader. So I enjoyed a lot of books. I always said I didn't mind being given hundreds of books to read for a course, but I minded a great deal being given, one book of math to solve. So that was why I decided that I was going to go towards the arts in university. Now, why I changed from my initial dream for a Bachelor of Arts was because around the time I was finishing my high school, I actually found out that the Bachelor of Arts in Journalism program, required you to do math in year one. So it was compulsory. You couldn't run away from it. And I didn't want to get withdrawn in the first year. So I quickly looked around and searched for something that was, still in the same field, something in communications, something in the development space, and then landed, with the Chancellor College's program on Bachelor of Arts in Media for Development. It was a newly introduced program at that time. I was part of the second cohort that was coming into that program. And so I went to study that program and totally enjoyed everything that program came with.
Oh my word! So, so you ran away from solving the X, through the maths and all that, but you find yourself, solving the X in the agricultural space. It actually reminds me of, the story of Jonah. You said when you were introducing yourself, you said, you are a child of God. So I assume that you will understand the story of Jonah, when he has to go to Nineveh, and the fish swallowed him and all that. So you are running away from solving X, and the fish swallows you and take you to the space where you solve X, but from a different angle. I think we're gonna unpack that a little bit. Wow, wow, wow. So you did art and media studies for development. So you tell me you came into the agri space through the art and media pathway.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's actually, I think, for me, been a very interesting journey. Landing in agriculture from where I started, my life as a professional. Because when I left university in 2010, the first organization that I worked with was called Theatre for a Change. It was a project that was being run under the British Council in Malawi, but has since grown into an independent organization. And I interned with them for a year, I think from 2011 to 2012. I was assisting one of the team leaders there implementing a project on primary school education. So just basically building partnerships with national and district education authorities and finding space where this program could be implemented. So that was my first foray into the world of work. Then a year later, around mid-2012, I moved to a health project that was being implemented by the Johns Hopkins University Center for Communication Programs. Incidentally, an organization that I had dreamt of working with when I was in university. They were at the pinnacle of communications, and especially health communications all around the world. And I worked with Johns Hopkins University Center for Communication Programs for about 4 years, from 2012 to 2016. Working in different departments, but mainly all of it was really working with the Malawi government in delivering social and behavior change communication programs. I felt like this is what I was meant to do. I so enjoyed that work. When the project came to a close, it was difficult to take because it was work that I had enjoyed a great deal, working with government ministries, working with other stakeholders that were working in health communication, just delivering messaging in social and behavior change to the Malawian population. In 2016,
Wait, hold on. We will come back. I know you need to take a short commercial break, and I don't
All
want
right.
to break you on that. So far, I
Okay.
heard that you worked in the education space and you worked in the health space. When we come back, I would like you to tell us a little bit more of what you did again and how you
Okay.
came into the agricultural sector. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. This is the African Experience. We're going to take a short commercial break. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the African Experience. You are with me, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. We are talking, to Blessing Flao. He's joining us all the way from the warm heart of Africa. For some of you who missed, the opening remarks, the warm heart of Africa is Malawi. And everybody, it's warm. And they have the welcoming, warm welcoming nature, which I can attest to because I have been in that country for many times, and every time I'm there I really feel at home. Blessings, thank you so much. Welcome back to the next quarter of the show. Before we went on the ad break, you were still unpacking your journey, having studied, art and media for development, and you used that in the education space, but also used that in the health space. Okay, so after health, where did it take you to? I want to see how you landed yourself in the agricultural space, and we talk a little bit more about that.
Brilliant. So from the health space, I landed with a consultancy for UNICEF Malawi around 2017, mid 2017 to the end of 2018. I consulted for UNICEF Malawi as a technical assistant in communications, and I was working with the social cash transfer program, just leading implementation of all communications for that program in about 15 or so districts across the country. So from my health experience, then I went to social protection, but still doing communications. And it was from that position that I pivoted into agriculture, because in 2019, I then joined the Catholic Relief Services, which is one of the bigger NGOs in Malawi, working on an agricultural project, serving as their communications specialist on that project. So that was my first time moving from, other types of communications to working in agricultural communications. And I did that work. I did that role for about 18 months, from mid 2019 to like the end of 2020. And it was from Catholic Relief Services that I finally moved to the position that I now hold with Access Agriculture. So I have been with Access Agriculture also in the field of agriculture since 2020.
Wow. I can actually relate with what you are doing and what you are saying because, in my career path, at some point, I did, communication for development. Actually, I was teaching that, communication for development. So one thing that I normally tell people is that once you study, what we call the soft skills, communication, you become so versatile because you can apply that across the board. You are a very good, example of that. You study communications. You could apply it within the education space. You could apply it within the health space. You could apply it within the social, social development space. And now you are applying it, within the agriculture. How is that so? How have you seen the transition? And what is it that you need in order to perfect your skills in terms of the content that we are communicating?
So I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that a lot of the skills that you need to use in communications are really transferable skills. So whether that's producing, learning content, the skills that you basically use, whether that's in agriculture, whether that's in social protection, whether that's in health, are the same skills. What you need is to keep, learning new things. What new things are you learning? How are you upgrading yourself? Are you onto the new platforms that people are using, Adobe Photoshoot, onto Canva and things like that. And as you add on those to the things that you already know, then you find that, like you're saying, you are versatile enough to be able to pivot from one role to another, as long as it's within, certain parameters. So for me, it's not really been a very big jump. In terms of moving from like education to health to social protection, and then finally to agriculture communications, because a lot of the soft skills that are needed for these roles are similar. You just have to keep looking within yourself to see what you already have that you can use, and obviously also learning new things that you need in this new role that you are undertaking.
Okay, now let us talk about your new role. I'll be very biased, towards agriculture because that is the space that I know the most, and perhaps, the space where I actually got to know you. What
Yeah.
is your current role? You are saying in agriculture. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the organization that you are working with and what role you are playing there.
All right. So I work with an amazing organization that's called Access Agriculture. And I am project manager or project coordinator for one of the projects there. That project is called Global Program for Small-Scale Agroecology Producers and Sustainable Food Systems Transformation. That's quite a mouthful. It's GP-SIP in short for us that are involved in that project.
Okay, what I think it is a mouthful, but what exactly are you supposed to do there with this project that has a long, long, long name?
What we're meant to do is really simple, is to help farming families transition to agroecology. So to give them the resources that they need, to help them to be equipped with the knowledge and skills that they need to transition to agroecology. So that's essentially what we're doing on that project.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about, Access Agriculture and how you are actually doing this.
I would love to. So Access Agriculture is one of the world leaders, in promoting agroecology principles and rural entrepreneurship. And we do this mainly through capacity development, and promoting a south to south exchange of quality farmer to farmer learning videos. Essentially, what we do is produce learning videos for farmers so that they can see these videos and learn from other farmers elsewhere on what they do, whatever it is they may be doing that these farmers would like to learn from. Our specialty is really to do that in local languages so that farmers are able to see what other farmers are doing elsewhere, but they are accessing that knowledge in their own languages so that there's no need for someone to translate or interpret what they are seeing on the videos that they are watching. So as Access Agriculture, that's what we do.
Okay, I'm very much interested, in that video part, because somebody that might be listening, it might be a little bit difficult for them to imagine how that could look like. A
Yeah,
video in my local language. How do
yeah.
I even access it? Where I am, there's no internet connections.
Yeah.
How does that work? Maybe you need to unpack a little bit the practicality of that, especially I'm thinking about somebody who is in a deep rural area somewhere who's
Yeah.
thinking, oh, but I don't even have, access to internet and all that. How does it look like in practical terms?
All right, great. So like I'm saying, we produce these farmer to farmer learning videos as an organization, and all of these videos are housed on the Access Agriculture website.
Okay.
That website can be accessed for free from anywhere in the world. It's www.accessagriculture.org. So
Okay.
www.accessagriculture.org. So all of these amazing agroecology videos that we have are found on that platform. Now that platform has over 250 of these videos. If we count the ones that are in the 6 or 7 main languages that are on the website, but if we count all of the language videos that we have, then we have over 4,000 videos on the website that are available in 6 main languages. So this website that I was talking about operates in 6 main language interfaces, and that's English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, Bangla, some of those 6 main languages. Now, when a
Okay.
person accesses the website will automatically give them the language version of where they are accessing it from. So, for example,
See.
someone that's in a predominantly English-speaking nation is going to access the website in English, whereas
I
someone who is
see.
in a Portuguese-speaking nation would access the website in Portuguese. So all of
I
these
see.
videos that I'm speaking about, and they're on various categories, from cereals, roots, tubers, and bananas, to things like vegetables, to legumes, fruits and nuts, livestock, aquaculture, and many other things are accessible
Okay.
on that platform.
Okay. You speak about the 6 and okay, DJ Messi, may you please show those pictures again. We are very good at stalking people. We knew that you were coming, so we had to go to the Access Agriculture and pick
Yes,
some
please.
videos. Yeah. Are you able to see the picture that I'm looking at?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I want you to take me through. You said initially you said people can access the videos in their local languages, but
Yeah,
here you are talking about 6 main languages. I'm
yeah,
thinking I'm Tsonga somewhere in Guyana, or somebody who's speaking Swahili
yeah.
or whatever local language. How does that work?
All right, great. So we are looking at the same picture that's on the screen, which is
Okay,
part of the landing page on the Access Agriculture website. Now, a
okay.
number of things that I would like you to notice on the screen. At the top on the left-hand side, you have the 6 interface languages of the website. Those are the ones that I was speaking about when I said the website will automatically sense what language version you should be looking at when you log in. Of course, you are also still able to change that language version to something else that maybe you are more familiar with. So, for example, if I open on my laptop, if I Google Access Agriculture, the website is going to come up the way it's come up in English, but I can choose to look at it in French and or any of the other languages that are
I see.
showcased there.
I
So that's
see.
the languages on the top left-hand side. But you will notice when you start looking at the videos on the bottom, there's a woman that's looking at pawpaws, there's a woman
Yeah.
that's carrying chickens. Those videos are being showcased, or that you can see the titles in English. Now, just above, it says 8 results found. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see that. Yes.
And then above that, there are these 4 search boxes. One of them is by language. So
I
when you
see.
click on the language option, then you can see the over 100 languages that we have videos in on the website.
I
It's
see. I
it's there
see.
that you can do the drop down button and then look for a particular language that you would like to find, or you can just type a language that you'd like to find. For example, I was looking at videos on chickens, or this person was looking at videos on chickens. That's what's typed below. But you can type a language there, say Chichewa or Xhosa. Um, or another language like that. And then when you click on the search button, what the website is going to bring you are going to be all of the videos in that language only.
I see.
So
I
then you can
see.
see, you can click language there and then have all of the videos under that language. But you can further filter your search by clicking on the language and the category as well. So the
I
category on
see.
the right hand side next to the language allows you to also just filter the videos that the website gives you by just saying, okay, I want to see videos on vegetables, or I
I
want to see
see.
videos on, roots, tubers, and bananas. And then you've selected your language there, and then you select a category there, and then you hit that search button, and the website is only going to bring you videos that align with the search parameters that you have put on the website.
Wow, 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 wow. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please go to this website and see, the wonderful things that they are doing. Now, a follow-up question, because
Yes, please.
you say, okay, the website is actually indicated there. So we the name of the organization is Access Agriculture. And from
Yes.
what you have shared, it shows that one of the main aims is to actually bring access, to people around, this agroecology or even information and all that. I still have, a question that you have not answered yet.
Mm,
I'm imagining this farmer in the
mm.
deep rural area of, Mangochi, for example, in Malawi, or
Yeah.
or somewhere in Guyana where I come from.
Yeah.
This farmer doesn't have a smartphone, for example.
Yeah.
They are not able to access the videos, but
Mm.
these videos could be helpful. What innovative ways do you have and do to actually bring that gap, to make sure that the people who need this information, it's actually reached by the information? How are you working around that?
Brilliant question, actually, Hlami. We know from experience that internet and electricity penetration in most rural Africa or in the global south is not where it should be. So there are indeed challenges in terms of people in the rural areas being able to access the internet and being able to access electricity. But this is something that we have ways of working around. And I'll speak about a few of those ways. So one, we partner with media houses where we give our content to media houses, and they
Okay.
incorporate it into their broadcasting as part of their agriculture content. And we'll
I
give
see.
them our content for free. And then these media houses are broadcasting this content to their audiences, wherever they are able to reach people. And that's true
Okay.
for radio stations, that's true for TV stations as well. And we have amazing media partners that we partner with in various countries in the global south. I think Malawi, Zambia, South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, going much further up, Egypt, Benin, where we have these amazing media partners that are broadcasting our content to their audiences. So we know that way a lot of farmers are able to get this content, right where they are. But we also know that not everyone has access to like a television station. Not everyone has access to like, a radio set. And we know that we still need to have a last mile delivery of our content to farmers on the ground. And how we do that is through what we call teams of entrepreneurs for rural access. So we call them entrepreneurs for rural access, or ERAs in short. And we have equipped these young men and women who are in all the countries that we are working in the global south with a smart projector that's solar powered, that runs
Okay.
offline and that runs off
Okay.
grid. So that smart
Okay.
projector has all of our video library on it. And then these young people can simply go out to the rural areas to showcase, our videos to farmers, even when there is no electricity, even when there is no internet.
See.
They are still
See.
able to do that by using these smart projectors.
Wow, I really like that because now you're bringing the element of the youth. Is that how the smart projector look like? I see there's a picture there.
Yes, so that's a smart projector that you're looking at right there. Some of the components are the smart projector itself. That's the piece in white. You can
Yeah.
see the tripod stand that's holding the smart projector. You can see the black box that has like a little silver handle that we can see a part of on the right hand side corner. That charges the smart projector. And those are some of the components of the smart projector, because
I
the
see.
lockbox, the box that this smart projector comes in, also includes other pieces. There's a solar panel there that charges that lithium battery. So even if our
Okay.
young people do not have access to electricity, then this solar panel is able to charge the lithium battery. That's the lock box on the floor, the big black box. Everything comes in that box so that it's easier for these teams of young people to carry out as they go to the field. The components include a keyboard, a remote control. So basically, it's a very smart computer that these young men and women have and are using to reach farmers as part of our last mile
Wow.
delivery.
Wow. So there's no justification of saying I don't know, there's no connectivity. Okay, okay, I see that. Is that the solar panel
Yes,
that
so
that
so
it
that's
goes
the
with?
solar
Yeah.
panel. Yeah, so that's the solar panel that charges the lithium battery. I think the name smart projector, when people hear of the projector name, it can be a little bit misleading, because a
Yeah.
lot of us have accessed or have seen these projectors that we use in meetings. That basically function like uh, kettles or irons, that once there's no
Yeah.
power, then it goes off.
Yeah.
But like I'm explaining, these smart projectors are really able to work offline, so without the internet, but also off grid without electricity. And they can work
Wow.
for up to 8 hours in a day on a full
Wow.
charge on that lithium battery.
Wow, wow, wow. I see a lot of innovations, in the work that you do. Something that I picked, you said, you partner with media houses, you partner with this and that. I'm thinking there was a school, for example, here in Cape Town, it's one of the schools that I adopted, to assist and all that. They wanted to start, agriculture literacy or agriculture. They didn't
Mm.
have, content and stuff. Could you also partner with schools, for example, where children can go on the website and they're able to see the videos of how certain things are done and all that? Is that another partner or potential partner that you look at?
That's definitely something that we are actually already doing in some of the countries that we are working in. These teams of young entrepreneurs for rural access are already partnering with schools, private schools, government schools, where they're
I
bringing the
see.
smart projectors to schools to showcase to students these videos that we have. Maybe because as part of their agriculture curriculum, they just read things off of textbooks, but then this allows them to be able to see and say, oh, this is what we mean when we're saying you do compost manure. This is how you actually do compost manure. This is what we
I
mean when
see.
we say, you have to plant vegetables like this or onions like this, so that they're actually seeing. And we're already getting beautiful testimonies from some of those students who are going out to share, in their communities, but also with their parents, some of the things that they are seeing. And we have stories of schools where, having watched the videos, for example, they've gone on to establish, like, their own little vegetable garden so that they can practice what they are seeing. So
Wow.
that's something that we actually are already doing, and we love doing it.
Wow, 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 wow. We know that, in this show, we discuss, things that are so valuable. And I promise you, I just get carried away because then I look at my time and I'm like, no, the hour is not enough. DJ Messi, I think we have to negotiate with you, my sister, that, at least give us 2 hours because 1 hour is just not enough to actually capture the knowledge, the inspirations that we hear from our guests. Wow, wow, wow. I'm going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, I want you to unpack a little bit what has been some of the values or the impact that you have seen, especially with this access agriculture, the videos, and then we go back to you as a person again. Let's take a short commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With NutriBoost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the African Experience. You are with me, Dr. Hlami Ngwenya. I'm talking to yet another powerhouse. We don't disappoint on this platform. We really bring people who've got valuable experiences and expertise. And tonight we're talking about Blessings Flao. He's joining us all the way from the warm heart of Africa. That is Malawi. Blessings, I'm looking at my time, and I think we need to extend the time. Maybe we invite you for the second part of this show. Just before we went on the ad break, we're still appreciating the work that you do with Access Agriculture and how you're actually reaching, or you're innovating around, reaching, that last mile. On the show, when we invite guests, we ask them to choose the theme. Okay. And your theme, you chose, I think it was, keep pushing forward or something like that. What was the theme that you chose? Yeah.
It was
and
actually
why?
Keep Pushing Forward.
And
Keep
why?
pushing forward because I think that for the most part, especially as young people, we don't always recognize or realize that the power that we have in our own hands, for agency, the power to change our lives, the power to change the narrative where our family lines are concerned. We believe that the power to change our lives, the power to change our stories is in the government and politicians and this person and that person, and we look at ourselves last. But I think that when we look at ourselves and realize just how much power we have in our hands, just how much power we have in our heart, just how much power we have in our minds to change our life outcomes, then we can do so much more to change those outcomes than just look at other people and think it's up to them to change our lives. Because honestly, it is up to us to change our lives.
Wow. I couldn't have said it, better than how you said it. Keep, pushing. I hope, young people out there, and not only young people, even adults and everybody. I hope you feel inspired by these and really let us keep, pushing. Wow, I really like that. Thank you so much. So, maybe with this last quarter of the show, I just want to come back to you again.
Okay.
What has been some of the major highlight, in your career path so far? I'll say so far because I know you still have a long way to go. What has been some of the major highlights?
So quite a few things, I think. Working with people is one thing that I consider a very big highlight of my career. I'm obviously an extrovert. I don't know if I could have been sitting behind a desk working with numbers all day long and not interacting with people. So I think being able to work with people, whether that's building partnerships at an organizational level, whether that's training other people, or whether that's working with people on the ground, in education, in health, in social protection, in agriculture. I think that working with people is something I get a high off of. And it's something that gives me great fulfillment and satisfaction.
Okay. On this show, we call it the African experience, and we deliberately take the lens through which we look at Africa from the positive point of view. We know that there are a lot of challenges in Africa, and there are a lot of media houses out there who are focusing more on that. But here on this platform, we're looking at, we're trying to find something that is positive, and we find it because we are looking for it. I know that you have traveled extensively in Africa and beyond. What are some of the hidden treasures of Africa that you think, wow, this is something that we need to speak more about? It could be in Malawi, or it could be in any of the other African countries that you have visited.
So I think for me, one of the things that really stands out about some of the countries that I have been to in Africa is really community. The power of community is something that we leverage a great deal compared to, when you go outside of the continent where people do themselves, you do you. You don't really care about what's going on with the next person. I think what stands out for me being on the continent is the power of community and how we leverage that to achieve the various goals that we would like to achieve as individuals, as communities, as families. Because how many stories do you hear in Africa about that child that maybe lost their parents at a young age, and they were still educated because an uncle stepped in, because a neighbor stepped in, because the community stepped in. I'm remembering some wonderful stories that I read recently from the warm heart of Africa. There were some young people that had the opportunity, I think, to go to Israel to do their studies there. And the whole village came out to the airport. And this is no joke. Like, a whole village came out to the airport to escort this young person, and they gave them money, they gave their little contributions because he had done them, this great thing of putting them on a map. They said, when you go out there, let it be known that this is where you came from. And I think I was coming from somewhere, and I walked out of the terminal, and there was, this group of people that was out there, and I'm asking, what are they doing here? And someone said, oh, actually, they escorted that woman's son who's going to Israel for further studies. And I said, that's beautiful. So that spirit of community is something that really stands out for me on the continent.
Yeah, well, that is so beautiful. I know we have, that community ness, if I were to put it that way, at different scale. I know just 2 days ago, one of my nieces was actually graduating. Oh my God. Did you see how many people were there, just to escort her
That's what
during
I'm
the
talking about.
graduation? Yes, because it's your success is not your success, it's the success of the people that have actually raised you and all that. Wow, that is so beautiful. I can actually attest to that. Okay, so now I want us to do something that we do best, in this platform, is to stalk people. So we
Okay.
stalk, our guests, before we get some pictures either from their social media platforms or wherever. Don't
Yeah.
ask us where we found these pictures. Then I will ask DJ Messi to show some of the pictures and you will
Okay.
tell us what was happening there. DJ Messi? DJ Messi, okay. That looks
Great.
like you. That looks like you.
That is definitely me. This is a recent one actually. I was in Uganda with a colleague of mine, and we were part of a team that was training master trainers on this new project I was telling you about, the GPSI project, and we were training these master trainers and just orienting them on the amazing resources that we have as Access Agriculture that they are going to use in training community facilitators who are going out to meet with farmers and help them to transition. That's a training in agriculture for master trainers in Uganda.
Okay. Okay. DJ Messi, do you have another picture maybe somewhere?
Same.
Okay,
That's the
so
same one. I think I
same.
was explaining. Yeah, so that's the same training.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
from a few years back. This is at the MAFA's conference in Lilongwe, Malawi. I think this is from 2022, if I am not mistaken. Obviously, me on the right-hand side, and then I am standing in the picture with 3 of the Malawian entrepreneurs for rural access who had come out to the conference to showcase the amazing work that they do, but also the amazing work that we do together. That's the Access Agriculture website in the background.
What I like with these smart projectors, you don't have to have resources, you can project on the wall and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, DJ Messi, I saw there was one picture that you just showed there. There we go.
So this is my lovely wife. Her name is Yamikani. We have been married 9 years this year. Yeah, it's beautiful to see this picture. I am reminded of how far we've come. I think I met her as a 19-year-old and a second-year university student. And yeah, she's been by my side since. And this is in South Africa, I think in Cape Town, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, that is so
Yeah.
beautiful. So that is Light. You said Light. Your daughter is Light.
Yes. So our daughter's name is Kuala. So that's Kuala's mom.
Cool. Okay. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Let me see, DJ Messi, if you have one last picture maybe that you can show, if you still have any.
Brilliant. I love this picture. This is one of our eras, one of the entrepreneurs for rural access in Zambia. His name is Zali Nakalonga, and we were in Mumba district, meeting with farmers and showing them some of the videos that we have. Mumba is about a 3-hour drive from Lusaka. I enjoyed this trip because it was so far. But we were determined to go and meet with this group of farmers. We got lost on the way, but we made it there. So yeah, fond memories of that trip.
Wow, that is beauty. And this is the one thing that I like with your work, because you want to reach the farmers that are not reachable, the farmers that ordinarily would not get access to any internet and all that, but we bring, this knowledge and experience through these, videos and smart projectors. And I think for me, it's really a thumbs up. Okay.
Thank you so much.
So let me come back to you again.
Yeah.
Let's say there's somebody who's listening to this conversation, somebody from the rural area, or anyone who's listening. What advice can you give them? What advice do you have for our listeners tonight?
I think the advice that I would have for people listening this evening is something along the lines of something we were speaking about just a few minutes back, is to leverage the power of community and to do the best that they can to move themselves forward. not just themselves, to move other people forward. It's beautiful if we can move ourselves as individuals forward, but I think there's greater beauty and depth in helping someone else to move forward. So what power of community can you leverage? What mentors around you can you use to keep moving forward? What books do you need to read? What podcasts do you need to listen to keep moving forward? But not just that, who else around you can you mentor? Because most times we're looking at, I think I should be mentored by Dr. Hlami. I think I should be mentored by that person. We forget all that is already within us that we can use to pull other people, up and pull other people forward with us. So who around us can we mentor? Who around us can we help? So that they also maybe just begin to look at themselves in a new light, begin to see that, I have it within me to move forward. Actually, whatever challenges I may be facing shouldn't be the end of my story. I can move forward and make a change in my story.
Absolutely. I think it speaks so much with the theme that you chose for tonight. So, blessings in the next 5 years, 10 years. Where do you see yourself? What is some of the visions that you have for yourself?
Amazing. A few things I think that I see off the top of my head. Definitely maybe doing more in reaching farmers and helping them to have access to the information that they need to keep moving forward, to keep changing their stories and their outcomes. But I think doing more to help especially young people, with financial literacy, for them to be able to see that that's also one thing that's within their hands, and that they can be better financially literate and change the narrative, of, no, we grew up with parents who didn't teach us about money, who didn't teach us about the options that we have in front of us, to being able to have all of those options in front of them and take full advantage of those options to keep moving forward. So definitely still working with people, still working in communities, just helping people to have the information they need to keep moving forward.
And lastly, I have, just one more minute to go. Where do people get access to either Access Agriculture or you or whatever platforms? Where should
Great.
people go to? Yeah.
So the Access Agriculture website is available for free. Just Google Access Agriculture and that website comes up. It's www.accessagriculture.org. So that's available for free. It's the website that's being shown on the screen. My email address, my official email address is blessings@accessagriculture.org. And I'd love to engage with other people and connect and, share and hear experiences from them as well.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. This was the marathon. I always say, when we are having fun, time is really, really, really flying. On the show, we also ask our guests to give us what we call the parting shot. So what will be that parting shot? Something that is still in your heart. We didn't manage to ask it, but you feel this is something that I would have loved to share. What is your parting shot?
My parting shot is along the theme of your program, actually, the African experience, what you said about changing the narrative of the continent. Because most times when we speak about Africa, it's in negative, connotations, those nuances that we have gotten used to, poor continent, this and that. But guess what? The power to change this continent is based in our hands, not in other people's hands. So someone said, I think we shouldn't ask what can be done for us by our country or by our continent. Rather, we should look at what we can do for our countries and our continent, because we can change this narrative.
Thank you so much. And I think you are one of the people that are really doing something to change that narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the African Experience with me, Dr. Hlami. this is what we have time for tonight. I'm sure we're going to invite, blessings again. There's a lot that we still need to unpack. I would like to take this moment to thank, our technical producer, DJ Messi, and thank, Pastor Strike, and thank, my co-host, Aventina Mabunda, because she's going out there to look for more information and getting more guests and all that. Thank you to our listeners and our followers on our social media platform, that is the YouTube channel. And thank you, blessings. Spending an hour with me here, I don't take it lightly. Thank you, and thank you very much. I hope to come back to the warm heart of Africa very soon.
We'll be happy to have you here. It was a pleasure being with you today. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, same time, same place. We will see you next week. Thank you so much, and happy Easter weekend for those who observe, Easter. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana, oh Afrika nakupenda sana.